Raider Nation, what's going on? You're watching the Raiders Report. If you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, hit that sub button, turn on those notifications. If you are subscribed to the show, take that link that you see below and send it to some Raider fans. I go live every single Tuesday, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 3 p.m. Pacific, which is when you're seeing today's show. So if anything changes, as Jack says, don't shoot the messenger. Let's go to the first question coming in here from Cameron Sprow. Mitch, we need to stop with all the other teams cast off. Sorry, I couldn't read that. Old players with a year left and ones we can't afford. We need younger guys with upside. I agree and I disagree with this. Like, what do you consider, see, I don't like the idea of don't going out and getting veterans. Why? Because veterans are still very reliable and they know certain schemes. They can help out some of these younger players. Like, Casey Hayward was a stud. I know Yannick Nhakoue is one of these younger guys, but he still played almost, 6 years in the NFL. By going out and getting a veteran like Calais Campbell, you could sign a shorter-term deal. And if I was a dude where you get Calais Campbell and you bring in a younger defensive tackle, you need your younger players to also learn after some of these older ones. So, I get the idea of no cast-offs, but people also thought Charles Woodson was a cast-off, and he was washed up. He turned out pretty damn good. It depends on system. It depends on scheme, and that's what I look for more for veterans. But, yes, obviously you want young guys that have a lot of upside. Let's go to Dill Spencer. Would you want the Raiders to draft Trevor Penning at 22? If the Raiders do not go out and get somebody like a Morgan Moses or go out and get a top right tackle in free agency, yes. I will be freaking out if the Raiders do not have a right tackle entering the NFL draft, which means then you have to put a higher priority on going out and getting somebody. The top right tackle in the offensive draft is, in fact, Trevor Penning. Now, sure, I have 3 other OTs ranked higher than him, but they're going to be left tackles, and they're going to go probably in the top 10. For Penning, though, at 22, if he's available, the kid from Northern Iowa, 6'7", 300-pounder, yes. Let's go to Raiders Torres 93. What do you think about Brandin Cooks? So I know I've talked about Brandin Cooks, a bunch actually over the past few weeks. Really good receiver from Houston. He's been traded already 3 times in his career. The numbers that I want y'all to look at in terms of Cooks are his numbers he had in 2017 when he played with the New England Patriots. He had 65 catches, over 1,000 yards, 16.6 yards per catch. In fact, it's actually his highest yards per catch that he's ever had. He's played with a lot of different quarterbacks, and if you're telling me right now you move on from Brandin Cooks, which means you'd have to pay him $13.4 million this upcoming season, 3rd-round pick, 13.4 for Brandin Cooks. Please, somebody let me know where I sign. Now, if the Raiders go out and they make a move for Brandin Cooks, they go out and trade for somebody like Calvin Ridley. If the Raiders make a trade this offseason, we will break it down for y'all. So if you bleed silver and black, if you look for that content, whether you're in the shower, driving your car, walking your dog, dropping a number 2, we're going to be dropping a lot of news and rumors the entire offseason. So hit that subscribe button, turn on those notifications. I don't want y'all to miss anything. A lot of shit happens in the offseason. Let's go to Daniel Keenan. Mitch, how many non-Chucky heads Calais Campbell joins the nation? Well, 2 things here. The no Chucky heads, we're going to be switching that up very, very soon. You guys are kind of already know Just Win Babies won it. And then Calais Campbell, it's going to be 1. However, I know the Raiders are interested in Calais Campbell. Let's go to Zornell Malone. No NFL team will trade for a bust. Clelin Ferrell, if you cut him after June 1st, you save $5 million. Not true. No matter what, if you cut Clelin Ferrell this year, even if it's after June 1st, you do not save that money. The only way you save $5 million is if you trade Clelin Ferrell. So who's ever giving that information, Zornell, tell them they're wrong. Let's go to Jack the Messenger. Hey, Mitch, thoughts on signing Ty Hilton? Ty Hilton was once a elite wide receiver, a lot of speed, but he's definitely lost a step. And I think the way the Raiders would try to use Ty Hilton is exactly what you saw from Deshaun Jackson. He's not going to be on the field every snap because they're worried about his health. However, when he is on the field, you might want to go ahead and take a shot. Though, as much as I like Ty Hilton, I might just go ahead and say Deshaun Jackson over Ty because I actually think it might even be a little bit cheaper. So would you want the Raiders to go out and get Ty? Type Y for yes or TY for yes at that point. Or you can go ahead and type your N for no. Always it's going to depend on how much money and certain things cost. I'm personally going to sit here and say no. I wouldn't want the Raiders to go out and get Ty Hilton because I think it'd be too much money. I was going to say not enough bang for your buck. How about that? Let's go to Ferrell NFL. Shout out to you, Mitch. Shout out to you, brother. You were one of the first Raider content creators that I watched. Just started my own channel recently. Check it out. I appreciate the work you put in. Well, you super chatted on my show, so if you want, DM me on Twitter or on Instagram at Mitchell Renz 365, and I'm more than happy to join your show. I've been joining some other Raiders content creator shows, and if I can inspire anybody to start a podcast or do something, if you need a guest, Ferrell, please hit me up. You got me. Maybe this weekend I'm free, so seriously, let's do it. Let's go to Madman Raider. Do you see us signing Stephon Gilmore in free agency? Has ties to McDaniels. So not only does he have ties to McDaniels, this is also somebody that I've brought up multiple times. The Raiders, I really truly believe, either get Stephon Gilmore or J.C. Jackson. Now, if Jackson decides to get franchise tag, that changes. But remember, the Raiders, they also just hired the defensive backs coach from Carolina. Stephon Gilmore. He also has a lot of connections with New England. So I know for a fact the Raiders are interested in Stephon Gilmore. Let's go to Christopher Leonard. I'm not going to lie, I saw sign and then FA. My mind initially went to FAB. All right, so sign a free agent linebacker, Hitchens, that was cut by KC. Thoughts? No. Anthony Hitchens, you want to know what Anthony Hitchens reminds me of? He reminds me of Tahir Whitehead. You can tackle. It's great. Tackles are great. However, just because you get a lot of tackles doesn't mean you're a good linebacker. Anthony Hitchens has lost many steps, and there's a lot of other really good linebackers out there, so I'll say no to Anthony Hitchens. Daniel, I think your caps are on. Mitch, if my math is correct, we cut them players you mentioned plus free money. That's over $50 million, so you think it comes. So you're talking about Kwiatkowski, Littleton, Carl Nassib, Amik Robertson, Denzel Good, and Clelin Ferrell. So Littleton, Quit, and Nassib, that alone is $29 million if you cut them after June 1st. Denzel Good is $4 million, so that's $33. Amik Robertson is essentially, let's say you round it up to $34, but then you're going to eat $10 million because of Clelin Ferrell, so that puts you back down to $24. 24 plus 31 is, in fact, over $50 mil, so yes, you would be over $50 mil. I just don't think that they're going to end up doing all those cuts. I think they cut 3, and it's the top 3 guys, but it's going to be after June 1st. If you guys are looking for brand new Raiders gear, please go to chatsports.com/RaidersT, where you can get this Raider Nation gray sweatshirt. You can also get this Just Win Baby, but I am being told that there's not many of the Just Win Baby t-shirts left, so if you want one, please go ahead and go to chatsports.com/RaidersT. That link is available for you all in the comments and in the description of today's video. So if you really want it, go ahead, act quick. Let's go to Shane Gamble. If the defense is moving to a 3-4, wouldn't you want to at least keep Nassib? Also, which player could surprise if they felt it was at pick 22? Would I want Carl Nassib in a perfect world and a 3-4? Yes, he's built more for a 3-4. But I just do not see Carl Nassib being worth $9.65 million. I just don't see it. And if I can save some extra money by moving on from him, that's the route I'm going to go, because I'd rather invest money in a player that I believe is actually going to be worth it. I've seen 2 straight years of Nassib. Even if Carl Nassib plays as well as what he did for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, he's got to get at least 6 sacks to be worth that 9.65. And I just don't think he's going to be on the field enough, because I also want the Raiders to give their opportunities to Malcolm Koonce. Like, that's where I'd rather some of those snaps go. And then in terms of a surprise pick at 22, if Garrett Wilson were to fall, if Jordan Davis were to fall, if Sauce Gardner were to fall at 22, that would be really surprising. Let's go to Blade House. Does Jordan Davis snap count concern you? If not, why? Not really, because he's 6'6", 340 pounds, and a lot of times if you get one of those big defensive tackles, the Raiders are going to be making a lot of substitutions anyway. So, does it concern me? No, not all that much because of how big he is, and when he's on the field, he's an absolute game wrecker, and you're hoping that he can put on or be in a little bit better shape the more and more training he gets. Let's go to D. Mendy. We have a hard time tracking tight ends. How about linebacker Devin Lloyd to add on defense? I love Devin Lloyd. He is the top linebacker in this year's draft class. I like him more than even the Georgia kid, Nhakoue Dean. However, Devin Lloyd is not going to be available at 22. I actually could see him in the top 10. If he even makes it out of the top 15, I'd be really surprised. So again, this is the kid from Utah. He's like a lesser version of Isaiah Simmons in terms of overall athletic ability. Not as long, not as lanky, but he's the best linebacker in this year's class, and I'm sorry, he's just not going to fall to 22. Let's go to Jimmer Fredette. Should the Raiders sign Michael Gallup? Michael Gallup tore his ACL Week 15, the receiver from the Dallas Cowboys. If you're looking for a good bang for your buck style receiver, I could see Michael Gallup being a solid number 2. I would play him over Bryan Edwards. If you were to have Michael Gallup, Darren Waller, Foster Moreau, your running backs that you have, Hunter Renfrow out there on the field, and then all you need is a number 1 receiver, I'd feel pretty good about that. If you were to tell me Michael Gallup, Chris Olave, Hunter Renfrow, I would still say we need a true number 1, but I would feel good about that receiving unit. So what do you all have to say? Would you want the Raiders to sign Michael Gallup, type S for sign, type P for pass? Really good route runner, solid hands. I've always liked his ability since he came out of Colorado State. Fell pretty heavily on the Cowboys depth chart because they got CeeDee Lamb, they got Amari Cooper. But if you were to tell me right now, Michael Gallup, $9-10 million a year, yeah, I'd sign up for that. Let's go to Cameron Sprow. Carson Strong is creeping up draft boards. Would you grab him at 22? No, I don't grab any male whatsoever, even at 22. I like Carson Strong, and if you've watched this show before, you'll know that I actually think Carson Strong might have the highest upside. Malik Willis is also up there, but Strong has the arm. And if you're looking for a quarterback that has all the arm talent in the world, it's Carson Strong. However, I don't want to take a quarterback at 22 because if the Raiders keep DC, they're going to extend him. And yes, I'd like Carson to learn behind somebody like Derek Carr, but I would want to win now. And Josh McDaniels is going to need to win now because of his past track record. So for that reason, I'm going to say no. It could end up being something like what the Packers tried to do. They're like, oh, I don't know how much longer Aaron Rodgers is going to be around. We're going to take Jordan Love at 26, and now it's biting them in the ass. Let's go to Alpha 1. Burks, a real 1 wide receiver. I like Treylon Burks. However, I think Treylon Burks and the Raiders wouldn't make sense to me. In fact, he's my 6th rated wide receiver that I think the Raiders should go out and get because I see Burks winning on the inside a lot more than I see him winning on the outside in NFL offenses. Right now, for the Raiders, they have their inside covered. They have Hunter Renfrow. They have Darren Waller. Those guys feast on the inside. Hell, even Foster Moreau, I have confidence in him. Would I rather Treylon Burks than Foster Moreau? Yes, absolutely. The Raiders need some outside movement, and they need guys that they can move around the field. Not that Burks can't be that dude, but I don't see Treylon Burks transcending in that way. So I like him as a player. He's higher on my board than a lot of other players, but in terms of fit for this Raiders team right now, Treylon Burks would be the 6th guy I would take. I would take Jahan Dotson, Chris Olave, Garrett Wilson, Drake London, all over Treylon Burks. Let's go to the next question coming in here. Make sure you guys are using hashtag Raiders or Super Chat. If I can't get to your question, remember, you can always hit me up on Instagram. I'm at Mitchell Renz 365. Slide in those DMs. Though the DMs have been getting pretty bogged down recently. You guys have been kicking my ass with the questions. I try to go through 100 every day, and I've been doing my best to go through 100, but y'all are really, really kicking me in the you-know-where. And I might have something special coming up for some of y'all, so just stay tuned. Let's go to Daniel Brown. What's good, Mitch? Want to say thank you for what you do for the nation. How realistic do you believe it really is our GM will be able to fill most our needs with the money we have this offseason? I believe that you can do it. Why? Not that the salary cap doesn't exist, but NFL teams, if you want to make things work, you can do it. And I will say the New England Patriots have always been very creative, and they've always been very good at filling their needs. They don't always go out and get the big-name guy. In fact, if anything, they've shown me in past, they don't go out and get the big-name guy. They find somebody that can then insert in and fill a major need. The last offseason, they weren't afraid to spend money. Let's go to Guerrero, Jesus. What's up with Javin White? Javin White's not on the Raiders. So Javin was on the Raiders practice squad. I believe that he signed with the New York Jets. So as it stands right now, I believe Javin White is on the New York Jets. Unless when he signed his deal, he's with the Jets. Let's go to Marcelo. What do you think about bringing back Cordell Patterson? I mean, personally, I like Patterson, 31 years old. Had himself a hell of a year this past season with the Atlanta Falcons. I want to say he had, 1,100 total yards. Was a really good fit in that offense. Though, if I was Atlanta, I would do everything in my power to try to bring back Patterson. Patterson has once actually I think he was once a Patriot. Did not work out too well with the Raiders. Could be this fun Swiss Army knife style of player. though you're going to end up paying him way too much money for what the Raiders truly, truly need. And what you truly need is what I think you're hoping what you paid Kenyon Drake. So I'll say no to Cordell Patterson. I think he ends up going back to Atlanta. Let's go to Raider 508. Trade for Leonard Williams of the Giants. So Leonard Williams for a long time has been a player, man, that I've absolutely loved for a long time, right? I mean, from top to bottom, Leonard is one of the best defensive tackles in the National Football League. The issue is this. I don't see Leonard Williams getting dealt. I know he's always a player that continuously pops up in the trade rumors, but again, you're looking at the New York Giants. You have a brand new head coach in Brian Daboll. They're going to try to win right now. You don't move on from Leonard. They already have a lot of draft capital, so they're going to end up keeping him. Let's go to the first letter of the alphabet. Mitch, extend Nhakoue. Love your vids. I've also said that if I was the Raiders, I would extend Yannick Ngakoue, though I could also understand them maybe waiting to pump the brakes. Why? The only time Ngakoue's really ever struggled his entire career was with the Baltimore Ravens. And I get it. He was traded from the Jags to Minnesota. Then he went from Minnesota to Baltimore. But Baltimore played in a 3-4, and he did struggle a little bit. Now, I will say that I had Ngakoue as my top 5 contract extension candidates video. I already put that out. It's like a month ago. If you want to go ahead and check it out, please do so. But, yeah, I mean, I love Yannick. He's a hell of a player, and I want to keep him and Max together. Let's go to Manny Machado. Last question here. DJ Chark is a stud. What do we have to do to get A-Rob, Chark alongside Waller, Renfrow, and Jacobs in the back? I mean, if you want to go ahead and get A-Rob and DJ Chark, I think $30 million would be enough to get both of those, which is why, we always bring up would you rather give Devontae Adams $30 million, or would you rather give Allen Robinson, DJ Chark combined, let's say they're $30 million. Let's say you give A-Rob $20 million a year. Let's say you give DJ Chark $10 million next to Waller, Renfrow, and Jacobs. It's going to be Jacobs' final year. Waller's going to be interesting because I've actually heard Waller could end up holding out if he doesn't get a contract extension.